Welcome back to Pack Mentality, and today we're going to be chatting with Caitlin about her experience at Wodapalooza in Miami. I had a wonderful time. It was a great trip, great competition. If you guys came to the SoCal one back in September, it was about 3 times that size, I would say. What would you say?
Oh yeah, at least.
It was at least 3 times the size.
Yes, had more stages and venue.
Yeah, more stages, more venues. There's 4 stages, including the gauntlet, and then there was like
Vendor
1,000
village.
divisions. There's like so many divisions. There was seriously something going on each stage all day, from like 8 a.m. to like almost 8 p.m.
Probably
every day.
1,000 athletes.
Oh, easily. Yeah, the warm-up area was packed. So we're going to be talking with Caitlin today about her overall experience with Wodapalooza, and I'm sure she has plenty of tips for you, for those of you looking to compete this year in 2025. So let's dive right in, shall we?
Sure.
So let's just start from the beginning. I think that's the easiest part. So how far out in advance did you start preparing for Wodapalooza?
As soon as I signed up for it, I guess, and committed to the competition. Originally, I placed, I think, 75th, and they take the top 60 athletes. So I originally didn't think I qualified, but about 2 weeks later, I got an email invite, because some people go team or they can't make the event itself. So, it trickled down to me and I had that opportunity to go. So I signed up for it. And I think that was in November. Yeah.
Yeah, November. I think that's when you got the email. Yeah.
Yep. And so since then, it was probably like 10 weeks of training until the event. And so we just kind of, backtracked from the start date and then had been working for that long.
Okay. And tell us about how your volume and intensity for your training changed.
So I still follow class, and then I also did a lot of the build and burn as well. But in addition to that, I would just try to do movements from past Wodapalooza competitions. So I looked at all the old workouts and I saw, a consistent pattern with the movements that they do, and I just really tried to work on those as best I could, because it's all a guessing game until they release the workouts.
Right.
So that lasted probably 6 weeks or so, and then they released one workout at a time, and every time they released a workout, I would try to practice it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember us when they would release the workouts, we'd go over it together, and then we would decide what the best way would be to approach it, how to pace it, unbroken, break it up, how to break it up, and also moving at a pace to where you can sustain, but you're also not resting too much. You're not overpacing it. I think that's one of the biggest things when you compete, is that, especially in that first event, is so crucial that you don't want to overpace it because be too conservative, because then nothing's worse, especially in a competition setting, of finishing an event and being like, oh man, I really dogged that one too much. I could have gone way harder.
Yeah, I did not have that problem at any of my
lucky
events. If anything I usually go out too hot. But for the workouts, I probably did each one a total of 3 times to practice them leading up to the competition itself. So I would practice it, and then I would change a little bit and do it again a couple days later, and then I would try it again, just a little bit different, and see which one was best. And then if my times would drastically change, and they usually wouldn't, I almost got the same time every single time.
Yeah, it's like your fitness is preset.
Yeah, like I wasn't really gonna get that much fitter in that time frame. So it was a pretty fast turnaround from September to January. And I believe that's why they kind of extended it. So if you guys haven't saw that already, but they moved it to March. I think it's like March 10th through the 12th instead of January. So that gives it 6 months in between the SoCal one and 2026 Miami.
Yeah.
Instead. Because again, the turnaround time was a matter of like 4 months.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you were going to
condense.
Yeah, you weren't going to get, that much fitter in that time frame.
Yeah. What were your biggest weaknesses going into this?
Going into the competition, my weakness is definitely strength, number 1, and number 2, gymnastics. So a lot of CrossFit in that. I'm pretty good at grinding out a workout. I have a decent engine. I think running is one of my weaknesses too. I really don't like running, so I've recently started working on it more and have gotten better, but still needs a lot of work. And yeah, so strength-wise, I knew every Wodapalooza, they do a clean complex. It's like every single year. I think maybe once they did a snatch, but it's pretty much been a hang clean for like 10 years. And so that's why we practice a lot of cleans on Saturdays in class. And that way I could practice with class and have that kind of setting, competitive setting to push myself. And then um, the gymnastics portion, I practiced as much as I could. I think I got a lot better at my chest to bar pull-ups. And then my biggest weaknesses are handstand push-ups and ring muscle ups, really.
Okay. Yeah. Well, how did you attack them? Like, did you walk us kind of through on how you kind of chipped away at getting these better, and is with such a narrow time constraint?
I just did them a lot. I did as soon as I saw they released ring muscle ups in the first workout. We actually did it. Did I do it on the first day? Yeah, I did it on the first day. It was the second workout on the first day, but they released this workout first. And as soon as I saw ring muscle ups, I think I practiced ring muscle ups almost every single day for 2 weeks. Maybe I took one day off just to like give my arms a slight break, but I practice as much as possible. Again, like you're not going to get that much fitter. What I got out of it was that I got more comfortable doing muscle ups under fatigue. So I knew at least I'd be able to do some in the workout. I wasn't expecting myself to really like do a bunch unbroken. Um, Competition setting, everything changes when you're live and in the action. But just practicing every day alone, I got really comfortable and confident that I could at least do it.
Yeah.
I never thought like, oh, I can't even do one. Like I knew at least I could do that.
Yeah.
So, short time frame. I didn't get super fit, but I definitely got more confident.
Awesome. And did you do any like competition simulations leading up to it? Like in terms of trying to simulate as close to what it would be like being out there.
Not really. Didn't really get that opportunity to train like with a lot of people competitively. I think we did one power hour that kind of simulated it. I think that fell within the time frame. But otherwise, no, I just kind of did most of it either in class setting or just by myself. And by yourself is very, very difficult to stimulate the same, feeling and push that you're going to have when you're live. But you just do the best you can.
Yeah, no, 100%. Let's talk game day now. So you step into the arena, it's been a while since you haven't competed in front of a crowd that big before.
No.
Tell us, what's running through your head when you first walked out there for the first event.
For the first event, well, I was very nervous. The first event I did in SoCal, I didn't do very well. I kind of, I don't know, tanked a little bit and was disappointed. So this first workout, I really just didn't want to choke.
Mhm.
And that was like my biggest concern. Leading up to that, warm up wise, man, I think I warmed up for like an hour because you weren't there. And the second day, Matt was able to get
Because I didn't have a pass.
yeah, Matt was able to snag a pass, a coach's pass to get into the back
Yeah,
warm up
like I
area.
couldn't help you warm up.
Yeah, so day one, I warmed up by myself, and I warmed up a lot. Probably again like an hour before the first workout. It's very nerve-wracking. You wait at least 15 minutes before you actually do the workout. So you warm up, and then they corral you, with your heat, and they brief you on like what to expect when you go out there, how the format looks, where the equipment is, which way to face. You have to face a certain way to do toes to bar or the bench press or whatever. And so they brief you, and then at that point, it's been 15 minutes since you warmed up, and then you go out there and you do the workout. So very nervous, but luckily I love bench press, and it was a good workout for me. And I'm happy with the fact that I could do 25 chest to bar pull-ups unbroken, on a different rig, in front of a crowd, kind of not my, confidence spot, but at least I was able to do that. So it was definitely a win for the first workout.
Yeah, that's awesome. And the main reason why I have people warm up that early before their first event is first off, it gets kind of the pregame jitters out. Also, you want to make sure that you have enough equipment because at most competitions, even at one as big as Wodapalooza, the equipment area can be very crowded very quickly.
Oh my God.
So you're going to end up waiting for stuff or sharing. And so you need enough time to get enough reps in. And also you need to prep your aerobic system because you've been coming off, a night's sleep and, there's not a ton of oxygen in the blood yet. So you're trying to stimulate oxygen to get into the blood. So that way you have it for the rest of the day as well.
Yeah. I mean, quickly, let's talk about warm up really quick. do you remember that morning? So I competed at 12 for the first workout. Matt and I went to the gym in our hotel, and I biked for 30 minutes at about 8 or 9 a.m., I think. So we did like a 30-minute bike, and then we stretched for about 30 minutes. So that was an hour. Then we rested, and then we got to the warm-up area at about 10:30, 10:45.
Yeah.
And I warmed up for an hour there as well before they corralled us at about 11:30, 11:45 before we did the 12 o'clock workout. We've already done a slight workout, I guess, in the morning, and then again before the workout, and then the workout itself.
Yeah.
So lots of warming up. And like Matt said, the reason why I warmed up at the gym in the hotel was because the warm up area for Wodapalooza, it was good, but there were way too many people.
Yeah, it was a lot of people.
It was very crowded. The teams were warming up at the same time as the individuals, as the same time as the masters. And so equipment was extremely limited. The worst one was day 3 when we had to do the Echo Bike run box step overs. We had one Echo Bike and we had 40 people in our heat. All the girls went at the same time.
Yeah, so I remember seeing a huge line.
Yeah, so we all lined up, all the girls, 40 of us, to use the Echo Bike, and we all did like 5 or 10 cals, and then that was it. That was the only Echo Biking you were going to do before the workout.
Yeah.
Couple boxes, couple dumbbells, one rig for everybody to work off of, and then barbells scattered around, trying to just share weights as best you could. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely not like when you're in your home gym and you're warming up. It is not like that. It is kind of a big clusterfuck, and everybody's just moving around crazy, and you're just trying to do the best you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about kind of like the nerves, because going out there, obviously the first event, and before any event, you're obviously going to be a little nervous. So how did you deal with that?
For me personally, I just really try to take a lot of deep breaths. That really like helps me calm down, because I really start to kind of like think a lot, and then I can feel my heart rate racing. And so to calm down, I just try to breathe a lot. We don't do much talking amongst competitors. I mean, we all kind of just stand around and, we socialize a little bit, but really everyone's game face on, and there's really no talking right before the workout. So you're just kind of in your own head, and just a lot of self-talk, a lot of positive self-talk, trying to like remember the things that I really wanted to work on in this workout. And I have a couple like taglines that I'll tell myself before I do certain movements, just cues, I guess, to kind of like focus on. And then that's kind of all I think about. Second workout, definitely way more nerve-wracking because it had the ring muscle-ups in it. Not my forte. So, and I'm already tired at this point because we had worked out in the morning, cool down, re-warm up again, and then now we're doing this workout. And on top of all of that, it was freezing.
Yeah, it was really cold
at that point because it was 5:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah,
the clouds came in. It was windy.
It was windy.
The rings in the warm-up area were flying all over the place. They were extremely high. Even myself, I'm pretty tall. I needed a riser in order to jump up to the warm-up area rings. But then come the event, when we got in there, I didn't need one.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, it was just different when you jumped up there on the arena floor. And again, you're like post wall balls and thrusters and snatches. And then you're trying to do, for me, one of my hardest movements. So really just kind of disappointed in workout number 2. But I expected that. Every time I tested it, I got the exact same score. And I pretty much got that exact same score when I went out there. So not really a loss, but not also a win.
Yeah. I think we expected to do a little bit better just because of the adrenaline being out there. But there's a lot of factors and variables that go into competing that is a lot different than when you're at your home gym. At your home gym, you're comfortable. You know the equipment. You know
your ring.
Yeah, on your rings. You know what rings you like. You like the, you can start whenever you want. Like you're on someone else's time when you're at the comp. So if you're not warmed up, doesn't matter. You're going out there. That's wwhy it's so important to get there early. And not to mention, there's always elements out there that you're just not ready for. Like, the heat before you, I was watching the Masters and their rings were all over the place. Like I saw people, jump to the rings and fall off because they were trying to time it. They were looking up and they tried to time it and they missed one ring, grabbed the other, and they fell. And I was like, oh, I really hope this is not this windy, because Caitlin's heat is up next. And luckily it died down
Yeah.
right before your heat. But like, I mean, everyone else in the heat was dealing with the same thing.
Right.
So
Yeah. So it was good. And at that point, we went home. We went back to the hotel. We quickly ate. I actually lost my grips at that point, dropped them at some point after the ring muscle up workout while I was walking back to the athlete area. And then Matt and I had to buy grips on the spot for the next day because there was toes to bar.
yeah, you're lucky that it was only toes to bar.
Yeah, I know. If it was anything else, I would have been pretty screwed, because
Bad.
everybody knows breaking in new grips is not fun. And when you don't have your stuff, it's kind of like mentally just kind of shocks you a little bit. So had to buy some new ones. They weren't bad. They did the job.
Yeah.
And, got through that and then got to the second day.
Yeah. Well, kind of going more broad here, but what event overall were you the most excited for?
The most excited for probably the dumbbell bench. I love bench press and I know I'm pretty good at that. So, and it was my best workout. Even though I did tie with 10 other people, I thought I did pretty good in that one, in the sense that I finished it, before the time cap. It was just a matter of moving the blocks at that point.
Yeah.
When I tested it, I did finish it, but we didn't have to move the equipment
Yeah, it was a lot of
in the sand. So, I did exactly as I expected on that one too, and was really happy with that event. I guess I was also kind of excited for the step up workout, just because I am kind of decent at that one. I love a good grinding workout, where it just comes down to, mental capacity of you keep pushing. So love that. Didn't mind running in the sand. We did it in SoCal, so I knew what to expect, and I'm happy that I kept moving the entire time and did not stop.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that was really fun watching that workout. I really enjoyed watching the first event. I thought you executed very well on that, just like how you wanted to.
Mhm.
And yeah, I wasn't ready for. I mean, in my opinion, I think they should have just started with the blocks down there and the dumbbells down there, but then that was it. Rather than having to move it back again, I thought that was the only thing that I would have changed on that event, because the problem was there was no tiebreaker. That was why there was 10 ties for 8th, which I mean, it didn't really matter in the end of the day, but it would have been nice to have some sort of a tiebreaker.
Yeah, or just, if I did do the best out of the 10 of them, I would have liked the points to reflect that, because we all got the same points for being 8th.
Or like you wouldn't like to know how you stacked up over all that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the most shocking workout for myself was the clean complex. I am not the strongest person. It's taken me a long time to get back to, original strength before having kids. So, and I've honestly never really lifted in front of a crowd before. I've never done like a Olympic lifting meet or anything like that. So, definitely something new. And I was very happy with my execution under pressure, especially with all the other girls around me lifting so much more weight. You can easily get in your head and think like, man, I can't even compete with this, and whatnot. So, and it really comes down to like execution. You only have one shot every 30 seconds. You can only do it one time. I know some people might have squeezed out another one if they missed it. I personally would not have been able to squeeze out another rep if I missed it. So I knew I had one opportunity, and really happy with what I was able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Going into it, I only actually hit 205 maybe once or twice in practice in our gym. And I mean, that was extremely hard. I could easily do 185, 195. I knew I would get those. It was like a matter of, will I get over 200? And so I'm happy with executing that when I've only done it actually twice.
Yeah, no, those were the numbers we picked.
Yeah.
We're in the warm-up area. And then you hit 185 in the warm-up area, so we knew that you were going to go for 205 as your final, and you were going to open at 185 just to get like a confident number on the board, and then go from there. And I'm really glad that it worked out just like how we planned. It's always nice when you plan something and it works out exactly how you plan it.
Yeah, actually, that was the best warm up too, because we had a lot of time to work with the barbell. The girls in my heat, we worked really well together, adding weight to the bar, deloading the bar, and working back and forth. It was also really nice for that workout. So we warmed up regularly. They corralled us for about 10 minutes. We walked over to the stage, and they had 2 bars there for you to do again. Like
Which-
literally 3 minutes before you actually walk out onto the platform, you could actually hit your opening weight one more time in the back to just kind of, get that real last jitter out. It was a little bit nerve-wracking because the girls were adding weight very quickly, and you had to get in there and be aggressive. If they went over your weight, well, you're not going to get on the bar.
Yeah.
So we had to kind of like plan really quickly, hit the lift, and then we were out there doing it. That was really fun.
Yeah, I saw that back there and I was like, oh, thank God. Yeah, because I can't imagine how dangerous that would be to corral you and have you wait for 10 minutes and then go out there and you're, hey, all right, let's load up the weight. Let's load up the bar. Like a 10-minute break is a long time.
Yeah.
When it comes to, especially something as technical as an Olympic lift.
Yeah.
So, what was the toughest moment of the competition?
Easily the last workout.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just really disappointing. I really practiced that workout quite a bit, and I'm really not that terrible at handstand walks, but it just crushed me. And it was almost funny. Like I started laughing at the wall facing handstand push-up when I finally got there after like 10 minutes. I just was laughing because I was too tired at that point. I was just beat. It was the last workout of 6, and end of the day, I thought I warmed up pretty well. We didn't have a lot of space to handstand walk. I mean, we were doing like 5 feet, at a time. And when they briefed us, I guess maybe I missed it, or maybe he didn't say it or whatnot, but it was supposed to be unbroken lengths. And, I understood it as the lunges you were able to break, if you stopped, mid rep or whatever, you just had to go back to the previous line. And so I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. Must be the same for handstand walk. And then it wasn't. And that just really threw me off. And I mean, I don't know how many times I got down to like the last 5 feet and then just fell and like couldn't do it. And it was just really, I don't know, really heartbreaking, I guess. So yeah, that was pretty disappointing.
Yeah.
But I mean, now I know you just have to practice a lot more at handstand walks.
Yeah. I think it would have been fine if we would have known that leading up to it to really warm that up a little bit more, because we didn't really warm up the handstand walks at all.
No, like I said, we were doing like 5 feet.
Yeah, there was really nowhere to
There was nowhere.
It was so packed that
We had one dumbbell.
I mean, best case scenario, we would have warmed up maybe outside of the warm up area. Or like in the sand, but yeah, I mean, I knew that the elites had to do 45 feet unbroken segments.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the standards were going to be and it's a good thing I didn't say anything, because if I told you it was 45 feet, then I mean,
yeah, and
it would have been helpful.
It ended up being 30 feet unbroken that we had to do. And again, maybe I missed that and I just didn't know. But usually I can do 30 feet and I do it in our gym all the time. But I truly believe just being out on a competition floor, believe me, it was really fun doing handstand walks on a competition floor. I felt really cool. But then I also felt really dumb because everybody else was doing them easily and I kept falling.
Yeah.
So at one point I just mentally shut down, I think, and was just like, well, let's just see how far I get.
Yeah.
I just really wanted to finish that length just to like kind of redeem myself. So I'm happy I made it through that. But like I said, I was smoked.
Yeah, you were tired.
I was tired at the.
But I mean, once you did the second 30-foot segment, the third 30-foot segment looked really easy. Oh, she's warmed up.
Yeah, exactly. It was like I wasn't warmed up, but
yeah, it was just a warm up. In my opinion, it was just because we didn't warm it up enough, and that's just something we need to know before going in it, and just make the assumption that you are gonna have to do larger unbroken segments anyways.
Yes.
Like now we know it's default thinking. Like, okay, let's just assume that there's handstand walks. You're gonna have to do X amount unbroken.
Yes.
And make it longer than what you think, just so that way you're, because if it's shorter, then great.
Right.
Just it is better to be over prepared than under prepared, and that's an oversight on my part as well. Let's talk if last one about events. If you could redo one event, what would that be and why?
Okay, other than the handstand one, because we've already talked about that.
Yeah.
I would love to redo that workout. However, the second one that I would like to redeem myself on was honestly the row and the toes to bar one. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe I tested that workout probably 3 times as well, and I always did it unbroken. I was really shocked that I had to break up the toes to bar on that workout. I don't know why I did. I had to drop. I don't know. I could blame the grips or whatnot, but man, I was pretty shocked in myself that I had to break that one up. Thought I did pretty good on the sled drag. having done it before. So I didn't stop. But man, other girls just smoked me. And, Matt pointed out that like I am more of like a grindy type of athlete. My power output is just not that great compared to others. So definitely something, moving forward that I have to work on is power, and producing more power for a little bit longer lengths too. I think we get really comfortable in certain rep schemes, 12, 15, 20, whatever. But when you start competing, you have to have more power and more drive to outlast the other people next to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's one thing to have a base, but then you have to have
Couple gears.
you have to be able to turn it up a
Yeah,
bit.
exactly. And so, I mean, other girls, man, they were rowing way faster than I was, producing more power on that, and then obviously on the sled drag too. So
Yeah, and the only way to get better at that is more sprints.
yes,
I mean, you can't just
intervals,
you can't
more
grind your way to being faster at rowing.
no, yeah.
And yeah, I think part of it too was the fueling. I think you just looked a little tired out there, honestly.
That workout was the one workout that I ate a meal before the
Right.
workout. That was definite mess up on my part. So if we're going to talk about nutrition a little bit, what I ate the entire weekend, other than this one meal, was basically liquids, smoothies, and a lot of carbs. And by carbs, I mean bread, like a lot of rice and a lot of bread, and then fruits, smoothies, like I said, and that's really it.
Yeah.
So the one meal I messed up on, everybody, was I woke up really hungry, second day, and again, we didn't work out till 12, so we ate breakfast at like 7:30, 8 a.m.
Yeah.
and I had steak and
It
eggs.
was a little too heavy.
It was too heavy. Yeah, I had steak and eggs. Tasted great. Everything went down smooth. It was just I felt a little nauseous on that workout.
Yeah, I think when you're nervous, also like your digestion just wasn't great anyway, so it probably just stuck with you throughout the morning.
Yeah. So after that, eating that and then having that workout kind of be a disappointment, I was like, okay, like not eating foods anymore. So I had pizza, we had Mediterranean, and from the Mediterranean, I ate all the rice, I ate all the bread, I ate like whatever was left. And then I think that's really all I had other than, like I said, smoothies.
Yeah, the pizza was a great choice, by the way. Yeah, but the smoothies were
protein
great because you needed the sugar.
I need the sugar. I had like a carb, electrolyte drinks every day. Lots of electrolytes, definitely to replenish. On day 2 and 3, it did get warmer, and so definitely more sunny. We were losing, obviously more water and whatnot. So lots of Gatorade tablets. And that was pretty much all I ate all weekend.
Yeah.
What changed was when I came back from competition, and we came back on a Monday. From Monday night to Friday, actually no, all the way till Saturday, I would say, because I remember what I ate Friday. It's Mediterranean again.
Yeah.
I had so much food. I cannot tell you how much food I ate. I was eating everything under the sun, and still moving around. I coached a lot, did some light cardio workouts in the sun just to kind of like stay focused, on my fitness. And yeah, just ate a lot of solid foods for the next 5 days.
Yeah, I mean, so one thing, if you haven't competed before, is that like when you're nervous, it's harder to, you just feel like, a full meal, you just feel so heavy.
Yep.
And so you want fast digestion things. So that's why we opted for the powders, the gels, the smoothies, because they're sweet, they're easy to get down. You get everything, especially because you want easy on your gut too, because you don't want a ton of blood flow going to your gut, even when you're, even after the event.
Yeah.
So it's hard to eat enough, and so when you're not eating it, it's hard to get enough calories in throughout the day, especially with how much you're expending and how intense the workouts are.
Yes.
So you do go into a major deficit, and then so that's why post competition, that's why everyone gets so hungry, especially after a 3-day competition itself. I mean, 2 events a day for 3 days.
Yeah, every day my Garmin said I burned, 3,000 calories at least.
And that's without any other extra activity, really.
Yeah, but like I said, we warm up for an hour, before every workout. So essentially, you're kind of working out for maybe like 3 hours on the day. Matt and I would walk from our hotel to the venue pretty consistently. We'd probably walk like 3 times a day, at least, back and forth.
Which was nice, though, because it kept you moving.
Yep. It kept moving. So we got a lot of steps in. My minimum on my Garmin is 15,000 steps. I'd hit it every day. So definitely was not eating enough calories in that competition, and that's why I made up for it, like Matt said, afterwards.
Yeah. And then we did our best that in between events, we would actually go back and just lay down in the bed and just relax. And
yeah, compared to our normal day, it was actually very slow.
yeah, it was weird. But it was also very nice. Yes, it was very nice not to.
We actually slept in for the first time in like, I don't even know, 7 years
I
with having kids.
I really don't know that.
Every day woke up without an alarm, which I cannot tell you the last time I didn't have to set an alarm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also not wake up and immediately have to start serving people. No, like
By people,
little
he means
people.
our kids.
Sorry, the kids, or immediately get up and go straight to the gym and start a client at like 6 in the morning or something. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I felt great because I just rested too much. I mean, I worked out every day too. I worked out in the hotel gym, which was nice. And then, but my main role was just to make sure I was supporting and make sure that everyone could see on the live stream. So, what other approach to recovery did you take in between events as well? Did you ice bath, mobility, massage? I mean, I know what you did, but we're talking to everybody else.
For the most part, I just did the Theragun, stretched on my own, foam rolled. Luckily, there was a foam roller at our hotel.
Oh, thank God.
So we got to use that. I did not get in the ice bath because I don't like sharing water with people I don't know.
Enjoy. That was just kind of weird.
That was
like,
just, the water was extremely dirty. If you looked at that ice bath, you'd be like, ew. I mean, I know it was probably sand, but like, we're talking about thousands of athletes at this event. You know, the potential of just bacteria
I know.
too high. So I could not get in that. And I didn't really need to use the recovery thing that they had athletes access to. I didn't really feel like I needed any of that.
Yeah.
But I was extremely sore, like instantly right after the workout, but not so much the next day, but like instant quad pain like with those workouts right after.
Yeah, especially after the 2 rounds too many.
Oh yeah,
That was an early one. That was a long workout. Yeah, that was a long workout. Now that we kind of had some time to reflect on everything, let's talk takeaways. So, how do you feel about your overall performance?
Really good. My overall goal was to not be last, and I was successful. I got 30th out of 40 athletes, and yeah, I would love to have done better, but overall pretty happy. And my performance was, as expected under the circumstances. So I wish I had done better, but I think I did as best as I could. I definitely tried as hard as I could every workout. I never felt, like you said earlier, like I could have pushed harder. I mean, I either I had it or I didn't at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall happy, especially since I didn't originally qualify. My goal next Wodapalooza would be to qualify officially and not have to, wait down the list basically and actually get in there early on. And that's kind of all I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
And then next year.
Oh, fantastic. And what was the biggest lesson you learned from the competition?
I definitely need to work on gymnastics, and specifically, I think I just overall need to get stronger. I was telling you this before. Doing the movements, the complicated movements, the harder movements, while you're under fatigue, breathing hard is extremely difficult. And what would be nice is obviously if you get fitter, but also it would be easier if you were stronger, right? The movement itself would be easier. So I think overall, I need to work on my strength, upper body for sure. I think this competition was very upper body dominant. And we talked about that going in. There wasn't a heavy squat. I mean, other than the clean, but that was just a lift. There was no barbell movement in this competition that required like a deadlift or anything like that. It was just all upper body. If you think about it, chest to bar pull up, bench press, muscle ups. What else did we do? Handstand push up, handstand walk,
Handstand push,
the dumbbell snatch.
There was of upper body, yeah.
Yeah, it was all upper body. And
Dumbbell snatch, dumbbell lunges.
so you're kind of at the mercy of the competition itself. You have to remember that going into a competition, you don't know what the workouts are going to be. And, it could be skewed one-sided. Like, it could just be, oh, this is a very barbell dominant workout. So anybody who's good at barbell stuff is going to excel. Oh, this is a very cardio type of competition. So, that's gonna help you out. So it's good to be well-rounded. However, I think this specifically for this one, I needed more upper body strength.
Right. I agree with that. And I mean, there's always things we can improve, and there's always things that we're constantly working on. And we knew that muscle ups were going to be tough, regardless of how much we train them. So, and we just use that as a reference point. We just keep moving forward, and it just kind of confirms what we already knew. So
yeah. I mean, my goal this year already was to do 30 ring muscle ups in under 5 minutes. That's been a goal of mine for a while. So it's just, like you said, confirms that I do have the right goals in mind. I just now need to work on them and try to execute.
Yeah, 100%. And if you could change anything about prep, what would it be?
Other than the one meal that I ate that I shouldn't have, probably that's about it for as far as prepping before the competition. I feel like I did everything I possibly could. I still coach full time. I still have to be a mom as well. So I dedicated as much time as I could to training within the realms that I had, and I thought I just gave it my best.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And what's next for you? What's another comp coming soon, or what will you be focusing on in training?
Just prepping for, the Open is next. So the gym itself, Red Wolf, is getting ready for the Open. So I guess that's kind of the next step. But otherwise, looking forward to SoCal Wodapalooza. Hopefully they announce dates for that soon. And then obviously next year, Miami Wodapalooza is in March, and hopefully can really prep for that one as well.
Yeah, awesome. Well, fantastic. Any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
No. If you're into CrossFit competitions, or if you're looking to do a competition, Matt and I have good experience under our belts, and we'd love to help you do well in your next endeavor. So if you ever have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to us and let us help you and guide you and plan a successful competition for yourself.
Oh yeah, nailed it. Thank you so much for listening. If this was helpful, please leave us a 5-star review so we know to make more content just like this. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Red Wolf CrossFit and DM your content suggestions there. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, good luck, have fun, and nailed it.